Spending money on the weekdays is one thing, but spending money on the weekends is another. Because while I already spend a lot of money on the weekdays, the weekends I feel like I try and pile all of my stuff into 2 days, which usually ends up leading to me spending a lot more money. And as a girl living in New York City, stepping foot out the house with access to Apple Pay or my wallet is a dangerous thing in itself. So let's see how much it actually costs to live here. With it being so close to the holidays, nobody was really in town, so I thought I had gotten away with not being able to go out until my friend texted and she was like, oh, let's go to Urban Outfitters and get some shopping done. I was like, well, pull my leg, okay, I'm coming. Luckily it was a nice day, so I embarked on the journey over to Urban Outfitters. So that was an unavoidable $2.90 on the train. When I got to Urban, my only real thing to buy was a gift for my sister. However, Urban is a dangerous place to be because there's so many things that I obviously want. So I'm not gonna lie, majority of the time I spent there was me trying on stuff for myself. One thing I will say about Urban is that they do the lighting in their dressing room so well. Like, one of the dumbest pet peeves I have is that when the lighting is not good in the changing room, how do you think I'm gonna buy the clothes? Anyways, I'm happy to report that I only got what I needed. So to celebrate that win, we got matcha. Counterintuitive, I know, that's just how my brain works and it's really unfortunate. For matcha lattes and coffee, I usually will try and make them at home. But unfortunately for me, I really love a solo date, so I usually will end up going and getting a latte by myself. And that's usually how I end up spending more of my money because I have no one to self-regulate my money with. Anyways, one of the best ways to save money in New York City is to just walk around. There's seriously so much to see and do here, and just walking around you might stumble on so many different things. And then we got dinner and I went to Brandy, and let's not talk about it. Not part of that, moving on. At my 9 to 5, the biggest thing I do to offset money that I spend out on food is to cook it at home. I had these really good eggs in Copenhagen when I went a couple months ago, so I was trying to replicate them at home, and I can just confidently say that they were not nearly as good. This was my very last weekend in New York before the new year, so I wanted to do a little bit of a solo Sunday. And it wouldn't have been a proper solo Sunday if I didn't start off with a coffee. I attempted to offset that by going to the gym. I have a membership that's covered under insurance, so this was $0, which is a really great deal because I don't have a cheap gym near me, and I'm just not the person to do Pilates classes. I mean, don't get me wrong, I would try them out, but they're too expensive. I like to spend my money in different ways. To the thrift store. My ultimate goal for this solo Sunday was to end up at the Bushwick Fleet, but who's gonna say anything if a girl stops into a couple thrift stores that are nearby? Not me, and hopefully not you. Anyways, I ended up picking up this really crazy red jacket. There's 3 thrift stores that are all in one corner that all have the most insane deals ever, which is so refreshing because sometimes I walk in there, pick out a thing, I'll hold on to it for a while without looking at the tag, and then it's like a jump scare at the end. It's the worst when you think you're getting a good deal, then it's not even in your price range. So luckily, both of the jackets I picked up from here were both in my price range and perfect. Also, genuinely, it's just so cold in New York that I'm excited to wear them already. And then after lots of dilly-dallying and losing the plot, I finally ended up at the Bushwick Fleet. They had the most insane abundance of stuff I've ever seen in my entire life. Unfortunately, didn't find anything I wanted. And then for the last stop of the day, I went to other people's clothes. I ended up getting this white top, which finally put an end to my spending. So unfortunately for my wallet, we ended with a total of $141.30. I'm never spending money again. Okay, bye.